So we'll get started in just a minute.
Action.
Okay, it's now time. So welcome to the second encounter for our beginning biblical Hebrew using learning biblical Hebrew from Josberger and Kutz. Today we're covering the names, sounds, and basic transcription of the vowel system in Hebrew. How's everyone doing?
Good. Pretty good.
Sweet. Welcome. So I guess the first thing we're going to do is start looking at the vowels in as simple a way as I can present them. Let me open up this presentation that I put together here. Okay. All right, so basic Hebrew vowels. We're actually going to go over them. I should understand, I guess, that you went through your workbook and you basically worked out chapter 2 exercise. That's the expectation anyway. Where you go through and you identify the vowels and the sounds that they make on the worksheet. Have you worked through it?
Yes.
Yes. Excellent.
I'll remain silent.
Remaining silent for now, but you'll get to it. So this is a basic explanation. First of all, Hebrew has pure vowels. It's like Spanish. It's a, e, I, o, u. There are 5 vowels, basically, 5 vowel sounds.
The same as Spanish?
Yeah, like in Spanish.
Yeah, but not the same sounds.
A, e, I, o, u. Yeah. So it's pure. It's like in English, the letter A, the vowel A, sometimes is a, sometimes is a, sometimes is a. In Hebrew and in Spanish, it's always a. It doesn't change. So the vowels are pure. There's e that does not become e, like in English, where you have a long e is e. It's always e. It might be colored sometimes as like a, like closer to a, but it's always e. E is the letter I, O, and U. Not U, like in English. Like in English, there tends to be a diphthong, U, but it's U, like an O sound, U. Okay, that makes sense, right?
Yep.
A, e, I, o, u. I think it's the same in Italian, isn't it? Giovanni?
I'm not really Italian, so.
Oh, well, I figured you were Italian. What's your native language?
It's Filipino.
Oh, okay.
The language, but
okay.
I'm not sure if my father took it from the Italian names.
Ah, nice, excellent. So these 5 vowels, a, e, I, o, u, are divided into 3 classes. There's the A class, the E class, and the U class. A class only has the vowels that represent the A sound. The E class has the vowels that are E and E. They're together in one class. And the U class are O and U. They go together. This is important whenever we see later on that there is interchange between E and E, between U and O. And we're going to understand why as we get to understand the vowel system in Hebrew.
Excuse me, is your presentation supposed to be up on the screen?
Yeah, you don't see it?
No, and I see nothing. I've got it.
Yeah, I got it too.
At the bottom right corner of the screen, there's a little presentation button.
There it is. Got it.
Restore presentation. Okay. And so further, these vowel classes are divided into lengths. There's long, short, and reduced. Reduced is also half. You could call it a half vowel. Length is not going to play into how we pronounce anything. It has to do with the length of syllables. Okay, and we'll look at it in a second. So you've got long E, short E, and reduced E, or half E.
Jason, did you see? I sent you an email a few hours ago, fairly recently, of the differences in vowel classification in the textbook where you classifications and the book by Practical and Help that I used that had 5 classifications. Is this just sort of different academic ways of cutting the apple, so to speak, or is there something else going on?
I don't know how Practical and Help teach the vowel system. I know that what you sent me, the question about the Khataf Kamatz and Kamatz Katan, in Israeli pronunciation, they are all the same. They're all O. Like I said, they're pure vowels. So it's odd in Hebrew to think that Kamatz Katan, the short O, would make an A sound. That's not possible. I think you said that they transcribe it as hop, H-O-P, hop. That's impossible in Hebrew. You would never say kamatz katan as a. I don't know where they get that, but it sounds terrible. It's like when you're doing Greek and somebody pronounces omicron as a, like logos instead of logos. It sounds unnatural to the language. It's not logos, it's logos. You know what I mean? But in Hebrew, it's even more pronounced. If you pronounce the kamatz katan as a, it's really going to sound bad. So all of the O vowels are O. They sound the same. And you got it? Cool?
Yep.
Okay. So we'll get into them in just a second. This is basically all of the vowels as they exist. We have, in this lineup, we have long, short, and reduced. Okay? So these are long vowels. The ones in the middle are short vowels. And the ones on the left are reduced vowels. We'll get into how they sound in just a second. Basically, all of these are A, all of these are E. This one is E. This symbol is used for both long and short. Okay, E. This is O, and this is U. And this is also long and short. A, E, I, O, U. Why does that period disappear, that dot? Okay. These are what we call vowel letters. Vowel letters. These are consonants that are used to represent vowel sounds. And they have a fancy Latin name. The word for mother in Latin is mater. Mater. So when we have plural, it's matres. Matres is mothers. And lectiones is reading. Mothers of reading. This is what we call vowel letters that are used. They're consonants that are used to represent vowel sounds. Okay, well, we'll get into all of that in a few minutes. These are always long. All vowel letters represent long syllables. Okay? All right, let's get into it. This is examples. John, are you muted for a reason? He may have dropped out for a second.
No, I just muted myself, so I was drinking something.
Okay, no problem. Thanks. So all of these represent ah sounds. Okay, we have the ah in father. If you see it right there, The one on the right is long. Okay, this is any letter, mem, nun, lamed, and this is a. It's called kamatz. Kamatz is long A. The short A we're going to look at in the middle. Let's look at how they are similar to each other. So we've got na, ma, la. You see anything that's similar between these two forms? Like this one and this one?
For a horizontal line.
A horizontal line. Yeah. Okay. Also, if you look at the short form, the reduced one, the reduced vowels are going to appear on the gutturals, like aleph, ayin. I'm trying to get my pen to work again. Aleph would have like this. Oh, that dot doesn't want to come, does it? Do it with the mouse. Okay, so this is on aleph. This is in places where we're going to see shva on normal letters. On gutturals, we're going to see the half vowel. We'll get into it in a little bit. Don't worry about it. Just know that this sounds like this sounds like and this sounds like and they have in common that horizontal line. Okay. What is different about the reduced form? If this is the common feature, that horizontal line, anytime you see that horizontal line, you're going to read a. What is different with the reduced form that you have this and this? Do you recognize those two dots that go up and down like this, one above the other?
It's the schwa.
Yeah, exactly. This is shva. So what we have is a combination of our patach and then shva. Shva is a really short sound. So they're together a reduced version of a. That's what the shva indicates, that it's a reduced version. Okay? But all of them with that horizontal line is a. If it's got the T going down, or if it's just by itself, or with the two dots, they all sound the same. We're good?
Yep.
Questions?
Jason, one thought that crosses my mind, if they're all pronounced, or if the long and the short are all pronounced the same, when does it become important, or what's the impact?
That's something we're going to have to look at after we get the basic sounds down. Then we can look at in the next chapter syllables, because the next chapter is going to look at how you break down words into syllables. And once you have it in like the word itself is going to have restrictions on what kind of vowels it can take in different situations. So like in unaccented syllables, like unstressed unaccented syllables, if it's closed, it's restricted to short vowels. And if it's open, it's restricted to long vowels, or unless it's reduced. Like you'll see when we get to examples and breaking down words. So next we have E vowels, the E. All of these are E. So this is called seré, it's E. Segol is E, and Khataf Segol is E. Oops, get rid of that. So again, just like before, they all sound like E, like bed. One on the right is long, middle short, left reduced. So what's common to all of them? Like if this is any letter, what's common that would always be an S sound? Well, each one of them have two horizontal dots. Okay. There can be a third one. This is the short version. And there can be shva on the side for the reduced version. Okay, so again, just like we asked what's different about the reduced version, it's the addition of shva. So this is e. If we had this example, this is with 2 dots, it is read me. With 3 dots, it's read me. The same. Okay? The 2 dots on the side are going to come on gutturals, not on, it won't appear on mem. It'll appear on aleph, ein, hey, het. Okay? This is the simplest one. A single dot underneath a letter is long or short. It can be either one. Okay? And it's E, a single dot. There are no alternate forms.
Is there a way to distinguish when it's long and short?
By syllable, yeah. If it's unaccented and the syllable is open, it's long. If the syllable is closed, it's short.
And if it's accented?
If it's accented, then it would be determined by other factors. There's no rule for accented syllables if they're long or short. You have to look at other things. They tend to be long, but you have to look at the construction itself. All right, these ones are O. This one, again, if we have our mem, we put a dot on the upper left. Mo. Okay, if we have a closed syllable and it's unaccented, that is, if it's connected to other, like another syllable after it, and we have here like this is mol. The most common place we're going to see it is in the word kol. Kol is connected to the next word. It means all or every. And it has the kamatz right there. Kol. The problem with this is obviously that looks like something else, right? That looks like the long A. It's the same mark. You only will distinguish it by its situation. Like I said, syllables that are unaccented. If it's closed, then it's short. This is a rule I'll give you in a second. I'll make it explicit. In unaccented syllables, open, long, closed, short. That's something you just have to memorize. But we'll get into syllabification in the next lesson, so it's not a big deal. Just notice that about 90% of the time, 90% when you see kamatz, it is a. And that means about 10% kamatz is o. Yeah?
I'm surprised the Masoretic scribes didn't come up with some other syllable that didn't look like the ordinary kamatz.
I agree with you. It's conjectured that they probably pronounced long and short the same. And since they pronounced it the same, they gave it the same symbol.
Oh, okay.
But I'm not sure. I don't know if they would always have pronounced kamatz like a short O sound. I don't know. It's very odd to me. I agree with you. They should have had a different symbol. And this one is the addition of kamatz with shva, and it's also O. Okay. So I asked you, what's the problem you see with the short form? Obviously, the short form, the problem is that it looks exactly like the long A. Okay. And finally, this is kubutz. Kubutz. Kubutz is U. It can be long or it can be short. U. It doesn't have. It's like chirik, that there's no variant form. Okay. That's easy enough, right? That if, let's write this word. Okay, this is kulam. 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 This is U. So it's read. This one is short actually because the dagesh has a closed syllable. It's like Kulam. So the syllable breaks there. Kulam. So it's short, long. Okay, so this is like, it has to be read this way. Kulam. That's how you read the vowels. Like you start in the consonant, then you read the vowel, and the next consonant, the next vowel, and then the end. Okay, so we're going to look at how to read a bunch of words in just a second, like sounding them out one by one very slowly. So this is the clencher of what happens with vowels in Hebrew. Originally in the Torah scroll or whatever, you would have letters like this with no vowels. Okay, and you wouldn't know how to read it. You just know that it's S-P-R. It can fall into so many different combinations. So if you add these vowels, according to context, right? According to context, if you add those vowels, it's Safar, and this means he counted, Safar. Or you could add these vowels, and it's Siper. This is he told or recounted. He told something. Siper. The same letters with different vowels, and the next one is Supar. It was told or it was recounted. And then the last one, Sefer. Sefer means scroll or book. So according to the context, it would change how you read the word, and then the vowels would appear according to what's being conveyed in the language. So we're going to simplify things and go back to the other presentation and start looking at how to read words. Okay. Now, this is stuff we already went over. This is long, short, and half, or reduced. If you need, I can send you a snap of this picture, this slide, whatever you want. Let's see, similarity, do you see between this and this? Remember the horizontal line is A. These are the A vowels. The two dots beside each other, and it can multiply out to 3, is E. So if you see a horizontal bar, you should read it as A, except when this is short. Kamatz is short. If you see two horizontal dots, you should read it as E. Okay? We already went over that. Good? All right, this is where I explained that a little bit. The Masoretes apparently heard Kamatz the same as both long A and short O, which is why they use the same sign for both. This represents a weakness of the vowel system. We have to be able to tell when Kamatz is A and when it is O. The same applies to Shva, which may be vocal or silent, and we'll go over the rules of that. So knowing how syllables are divided will tell us when Shva is vocal or silent and when Kamatz is long or short. It's kind of what we talked about a few minutes ago. All right, so on this one, let's turn on your writing capability. And we're going to go over the various vowel classes, and we'll practice one by one. The A, long A, how do you write it? Giovanni, go ahead, you write there on it. Yes, great. Okay, that makes sense, right?
Yep.
Does anybody have questions over the idea that this is a long A? We got that, right?
Yes.
Yep.
All right. So short, go ahead and write a short word. I see your pen up there. Go and write short A. That's excellent. Look at that. So the long A is called Kamatz. 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 And the short A is called Patach. You've looked over the names of the vowels, right?
Yes.
Patach. That CH sound is the one that we talked about before, the chet. We talked about it last week. Chet. Okay, so it's patach. Kamatz, patach. The half vowel is also patach, but in this case it's chataf patach. Chataf patach. Okay, so these chataf vowels are what we call the composite shva. It's shva with another vowel. So we've already got it right there, that it's patach with shva together. Notice that these half vowels are going to come on aleph, ayin, hey, chet, the guttural letters. Okay? So in place of a vocal shva, you're going to have a composite shva on these gutturals. So the vowel letters, we're going to have like O, okay? Or, well, come on, let me undo it. Lu. This is a vowel letter. We should go over those in just a second. The long and short. All of the long vowels have the option of becoming vowel letters. And then we have shva. Okay, so this is shva, it's just 2 dots underneath, and that goes under any letter. Generally, the gutturals prefer the reduced vowels. Okay? How are we processing things? Do you have questions? Let's take a minute for questions.
I'm okay up to this point.
Well, good, because that's the major information. Anyone else? Questions, issues, complications? We're all good? Should we move on?
Yeah.
Okay. Don't be shy. If you got a question, it's a good idea to ask it because other people are going to have the same question probably. And I have a tendency to assume that people know what I'm talking about, even when they don't. Okay, so these letters, these are gutturals. Aleph, hey, chet, ayin, and sometimes resh behaves like a guttural. Resh is not considered a guttural because it's R. R is not guttural, supposedly. So number one, they do not take dagesh, including resh. They don't take dagesh. I think there are 2 places in the Bible where you're going to find the letter Aleph with dagesh, and I don't know why or how it's supposed to be pronounced, but it exists somewhere. So as a general rule, you will not see Aleph with dagesh, Hey with dagesh, Chet with dagesh, Ayin with dagesh, or Resh with dagesh. But you might be surprised at 1 or 2 points in the Bible where you see them, and generally we don't know why. So the rejection of dagesh, that is their refusal to accept it, you can think of letters as having personality, right? These ones say, when you come to put a point in them, they say, no, I don't want it, and they push it out. And when they push it out, they push out the dagesh, it influences the vowel before it. So what dagesh normally does, let's go to the whiteboard here, because this way we can look at specific words. Let's say that we have the word mother. Mother is ima. Wow, now my pen's not working. That's wonderful. Mother is ima. Aleph. I'm using my mouse. This is embarrassing. Mem. Aleph. This actually comes from Aramaic, but it'll work for Hebrew as an example. Hold on, let me try to get my pen working again. What we have here are 2 syllables. We've got imma. Imma means mother. The Hebrew word for mother is em, but it's related directly to this. Oh, come on, pen. I spent $50 on this pen. It's expensive. But it's old. It's like 3 years old, so I can't blame it. Okay, maybe this is going to work. So, all right. Yeah, Aleph, Mem, Aleph, Ima. The Mem has Dagesh. The Dagesh is called Dagesh Forte in Latin. In Hebrew, it's called Dagesh Chazak. It means strong, forte, strong. Strong Dagesh. You've got strong Dagesh and weak Dagesh. Strong takes a letter and when you point it, it doubles it. It makes it two of them. So Mem, when you put a Dagesh inside of it, becomes M. That makes sense? The Dagesh doubles. Yeah? Okay, so what happens is you've got Aleph and Mem and another Aleph. This one is doubled. You have Im, I-M, and then you've got a second M and long A. Ima. Aleph is represented in transcription with this ring, half ring. Imma. Okay, so the point is that Dagesh doubles. If we have one of these letters like Aleph that wants to be doubled, the pattern we said for this one is siper, means he told. This pattern has a doubled radical in the middle. Okay, so if we have the root ma'an, this root, and we want to have that pattern, same pattern of vowels as this one, it would have Dagesh in the Aleph, and like this. This is the pattern, mi-en. But Dagesh refuses, or the Dagesh refuses to go into the Aleph, and so this vowel, the E, becomes E. Me-en. It lengthens. This short I becomes a long E. I said before that I and E play between each other. I and E. This is a little over our heads right now where we're supposed to be, but I just want to point out that because of the rejection of Dagesh, it affects the vowel before it. Okay? It doesn't matter for reading purposes, but it matters later on, like for what we see in patterns. So right now we don't need all of that. We're going to go back to slide 7 and just say when it refuses the Dagesh, you will have the vowel before them lengthened. It's called compensatory lengthening. Okay. Hey and Chet have virtual doubling, which means that they act like they're doubled. We'll deal with it later. It doesn't matter. Rather than vocal shva, these letters will take the half vowels. So you've got A and Che instead of Ch and instead of shva. Kind of over our heads right now, right? Let's move on. Like you said, we need to see examples. So let's look at examples of how to read some words. Okay? This word here, we're going to start here because in Hebrew you start on the right. Okay, this word means scripture. Let's look at how to read it. This letter is Mem. This letter is Kuf. This one Resh and Aleph. So if we add the vowels, this we said is single dot is E, mi. These two dots are shva. This forms a closed syllable and we get mik. Mik. Then the next syllable opens with resh and a long vowel a. And the aleph here has no value. Mikra. Mikra.
So would you call the last syllable an open syllable?
It kind of is, because the aleph is called quiescent. It's as if the aleph isn't there. So, I mean, it doesn't really matter, because you don't have the issue with the accented syllable. You don't have an issue of long and short. But yes, if it were any other letter, it would be closed. Aleph functions kind of like it's not there. So I would consider it open. Mikra. Mikra means scripture. It's from the root read. Kara. Kara is read. So mikra, what is read? It's funny because in English, scripture is what is written. Script. But in Hebrew, it's not what's written, it's what's read. You read the scriptures. Okay, let's have somebody sound this one out for us. Tell us the letters and then the vowels that are on them.
Could be samak, per, resh, saper.
Yeah. What's this vowel? Is long or short? Do you know?
Long E.
Long E. It's called seré. Seré is long E. So it's S, long E. We've got a P that's soft. Then a short E. And resh. Sefer.
Sefer.
When you do transcription, we mark the vowels as short and long. So long is like this and short is like that. The pei, that's the letter pei. If it's soft, you put a line over it. So we've got sefer. Sefer. Okay, the next one is a name. Who wants to read the name? With it, first of all, identify the letters. Identify the letters and then the vowels.
That's Yod, Ayin, Kof, and Bet. And then the short A and the reduced A. And
and what's this one?
Long O.
Oh, right, exactly. Okay, so this is Yod with short A, Ya.
Yaakov.
Yaakov. This is Ayin with A. This is, like I said, the gutturals, Ayin, Chet, and whatever, they take the half vowel. Yaakov. And the bet is soft. V. All right, great. So mikra, sefer, Yaakov. So far, so good. Okay. Who has not done any word yet? They want to do the next word? Giovanni?
Yeah. Yeah, so we have Aleph, Lamed, and then you have A, Yud, and that's final Mem.
Yep, Mem Sofit, final Mem. Okay.
And you have the reduced E.
Okay.
And then so you have the O in the Lamed.
So we've got Aleph, we've got reduced E, we've got L, O, L-O, and the O is long, right? It's Cholam, it's long.
And so Elohim.
Hey is the next, and the I, Elohim. Yeah, we haven't talked about the vowel letters with the Aleph, Hey, Vav, and Yod. These letters tend to represent vowels. Like we had the word mikra, scripture, mikra, scripture. The aleph on the end is not a consonant in this form, right? Sometimes it will appear like in the word kan, which is actually a later form from the Dead Sea Scrolls and on, but it means here, kan. kan means here. The aleph here is not, it's just indicating a vowel. It's not a real consonant. The letter hey likes to stand at the end of words, like yeled becomes yalda. Yeled is boy, yalda is girl. The a ending stands at the end to mark feminine. And it's the hey. Hey is a. It's not to be read as an H, it's read as a. Okay? So the H, the hey, represents a vowel, a. Further, the vav, if you think of how it used to be wow, it represents two vowels. If there's a dot on top, it's O, just like cholam. The dot on top is O. And if it's a dot inside of it, then it's U. U, called shuruk. U. So vav represents a vowel. We'll look at it. We'll look at an example in a second. Yod generally represents E or E. Okay, it's E or E. Okay, examples. This is samech, samech, and this in the middle is U. This word is read as sus. Sus means horse. Sus. If you have feminine horse, you use the hey ending for feminine. Susa. Susa. This little caret, this caret here, on top of a vowel, means that we're using a vowel letter in transcription. So this means kubutz, ... This means shuruk. Okay, that's the way it's written. So the hey with the kamatz is written as a with the caret. The caret just means that it's a vowel letter. Not important because you're not doing transcription, but there's a difference in how you write it. Let's see. Someone want to read this one?
Kos.
Kos. K-O-S. Kos. Kos means cup. Like you drink from a cup. Okay, let's say a lot of synagogues are named after they're called the sons of something. Let's say Yeshurun. Yeshurun, do you know Yeshurun is a name for Israel? Yeshurun, B'nai Yeshurun. This is A. So if this, we already know the two dots together is E, and it's like adding a Y onto the after it to mark the vowel. So, because if we didn't have a vowel there, like if we didn't have something there, how are we going to know that it's B'nai and not Ben? You know? That yod on the end, it signals to us that it's A, B'nai.
Is that a diphthong? It
is. It does tend toward, it tends toward A, like in they. Like B'nai Yisrael, the children of Israel. B'nai Yisrael, B'nai Moab, the children of Moab. Okay? B'nai. So that yod can represent the E sound or the A sound. Okay, so B'ni means my son. B'ni, my son. where this
Would you read out the word goy? Show us that.
That is definitely a diphthong. Goy. There's gimel, vav, yod. The vav and yod in this situation are oy. O-Y. Oy, goy. Okay?
So these forget the term now, vowel letters, as you've got here, a yod with a holum, that is a different pronunciation than simply the holum by itself.
No, we consider them the same. So if this is go, this is also go. They're the same. This one we just call full, and this one we call long, and this one we call full, generally. So at least in Israel, like we call this.
I got confused.
We tend to call this one cholam, the O, and this one we'll call cholam maleh. Maleh is full. Okay.
Yeah, I was thinking the yod was part of the vowel structure.
Yeah, the diphthong here is caused by the yod. Yeah.
Yep.
We also have that with a vowels, like so my masters or my sirs, whatever, is Adonai. So this A with the Y is I. Adonai. Yeah? Okay, so I think you understand vowel letters, right? That Aleph normally can often represent A. Hey on the end of a word is normally A. Sometimes it's O, like the word ko. Sometimes it's E, like the word pe. Pe is mouth. This is mouth. This is ko means thus, like thus saith the Lord. Ko amar Adonai. Thus. Sometimes it represents different vowels. You just have to read with the vowel that it appears with. So it's O, sometimes E. Vav is O or U. Yod is normally I or E. Okay? We're getting stretched out here. How are we doing? I'm throwing a lot of information at you. I'm sorry. It'll get.
That's why we're here.
It'll get easier as we start to read. So let's get back to some words. We did mikra, scripture, mikra, sefer, Yaakov, Elohim, and now we're on the next word here. I'll let you write on the screen. You can break up the word. How about we go back to John? Do you mind going with the next word?
Sorry, what is it my mind's gone blank.
So we want the name of the letters. Name of the letters.
See, okay.
And the vowels that are underneath them. And then we'll read it.
Yod, Resh, both, Vowel, and Tet.
Taf. So Yod, Resh, Kof, Vav, Tav.
Okay. So there's a schwa under the yod, and then a kametz under the resh, and a holum over the wa.
On the vav, it's vav. V-A-V, vav. So yes, that's correct. This is at the beginning of a word, so the shva is vocal. Yeah.
Both.
Yerakot. Okay, fantastic. Yerakot means vegetables. Yerakot. If the accent is unmarked, you see this one marks the accent. If there's no marked accent, assume that the accent is on the last syllable, because we don't mark accent on the last syllable. Yerakot, vegetables. Okay? In this next word, there's a shva under the lamed, and before it, there's a short vowel. Short vowel before shva indicates that this is a unit, a closed syllable. So this is mal. Okay, whoever wants to start the next one, this is, let's go to Ward, and we'll go through the letters here.
So mem, lamed, aleph, kaf, yod, and mem, and then batah, shiva, kametz, and this is chirik, right?
Chirik, yeah, chirik.
Chirik.
So this one is a closed syllable with the shiva. How do we read that one?
Mal.
Mal. The aleph is a break, right? So it's not mala, but mal'a. Mal'a.
Malahim.
Chim. That kaf is soft. It's ch. Malachim. Malachim. Any idea what that word means?
Something about a king.
Very close. It sounds like a king, doesn't it?
Yep.
It's because of the aleph inserted. This is the word for angels. Okay, angels. The word for king is melech, and angel is malach. Melech, malach. You hear the break in the middle of the word with that aleph? It's not malach, but malach. Malachim. You know what I'm talking about? There's that break. Look at, if we have king, it's melech. Melech. But angel is malach. Malach. Doesn't matter. You understood the word. Malachim, angels. Malachim. Next. Okay, now in these examples, these forms are related to each other. They're all the same word in each line, but they are in different forms. So, Giovanni, could you take this one, please?
So we have mem, lamed, kaf, and a. And then you have the short a, and then the shava. So that goes together.
Great, good call. So that's a syllable, syllabic unit, right? Mal.
Malka.
Malka. And what is this here?
Forgo. It's cool. So
it's a vowel letter. The hey is a vowel letter.
Yes.
Yeah. So exactly. So this represents the ah sound. So it's ka. Malka. Malka means queen. Okay. So we're back to John for the next one.
Mem lamed pav.
Mm-hmm.
And patach shwa.
Yeah. Patach, shva,
Patach.
and patach. Okay.
That'll be malkaf.
Malkat. That's a T.
Malkat.
Malkat.
Okay.
So if Malka means queen, Malka, it's related to Melech. Malka is the feminine, queen. This is the queen of, like the queen of Sheba or the queen of Egypt. Malkat. Malkat Mitzrayim is the queen of Egypt. Malkat. So that the A vowel becomes at in order to join it to the next word. So Malka is queen, Malkat Mitzrayim, the queen of Egypt. malkat. Okay? And the next word is the plural of malka. Malka means queen, and this is the plural. How would we read this word? And you'll notice that there's a difference in the structure of the syllables. That's nice. We're on word. Sorry. This form right there.
Mim, lamed, mim, lamed, kaf, vav, tav.
Yep.
In the shiva, the long A and the olam.
Great. Okay. If you had to guess, would this shva be long or short, and why?
Called it vocal long.
Sorry, vocal or silent?
Vocal.
Vocal. And how do you know that?
You have to have, because otherwise you can't pronounce the M.
Yeah. It's at the beginning of a word. You should always, at the beginning of a word, assume that it's vocal. Okay, so we've got meh.
Melachot. Struggling with the guttural sound.
Yeah. And that's the difference between this one and that one, right? That in the single form we have a broken syllable here, mal ka, mal kot, and so we have the beged kefet letter that is following a silent shva that closes that syllable. When you have beged kefet following a silent shva, it's hard. So mal ka, this is ka. But in this case, it's following a vowel, mela, and then we have chot, it's soft, melachot. Melachot is queens. So malka is a queen, and melachot is queens. It's like yalda is a little girl, and yeladot are girls. Okay, next we have a set of 3 words. Go through them one by one. They all start with ayin. So we are back to John, I believe.
So it's ayin, bet, dalet. They both got segols. There's an accent on the first syllable. Eveth.
What's this sound there? I think you've got something from another book on your brain about the taf and the dalet. This is always D and this is always T. There's no th sound in Hebrew.
Okay.
So this is
the other book does not agree with the book we're using here. So I'll start again. Eved. Eved.
And Eved means slave. Eved. So you know the name of God, we say normally Hashem or Adonai. Eved Hashem is a slave of God. It's like similar to Arabic Abdullah. You know the name Abdullah? Abd. A-B-D. That's Ayn. Ayn B-D. This is slave. Abdullah means a slave of God in Arabic. And people like to call themselves Abdullah, God's servant. It's in the book of Isaiah. It says, the servant of the Lord. Eved Adonai. Eved Hashem. So Eved is slave. It's a good word to commit to memory. In the Bible, there are a lot of slaves. And so Eved is one slave. We say in the Bible there are a lot of slaves. This is the plural. Okay, so now we're at Ward. Would you read the next one? It's the plural of Eved.
That's ayin, bet, dalet, yod, mim, and then a reduced A.
What you think of is that this one is just like this one. See, this one is vocal shva, and this is like vocal shva that's under a guttural letter. When you have a guttural, you won't have just regular shva. You'll have guttural shva generally.
Is there a reason that reduced to an A sound rather than E sound?
The pattern,
like above.
The word Eved originally is not eved. It comes from abd. Abd. Like this is like way back. Just like in Arabic, it's Abdullah, Abd. That's the root of the word. So when it becomes the avadim, it's because there really was an initial A sound. Our form eved is actually contrived. It came later. Like melech is king, but the original form of king was malk. Malk. So we'll get into that in chapter 4. In chapter 4, they go into a lot of like information about roots. So malk becomes melech, and in the plural, melachim, like melachot. Like melachot, queens, melachim, kings. And so in this case, the im ending is for masculine plural. And it's avadim. With the accent on the last syllable. Avadim is slaves. So eved, slave, avadim, slaves. And this is like where you had queen and then you have queen of Egypt, Malkat Mitzrayim. These are slaves of. So you have Eved Adonai, slave of God, God's servant, in Isaiah chapter 53. Eved Adonai. These are the servants of God. Avdei Adonai. Avdei Adonai, servants of God. This is like in Isaiah also, I think, I don't remember what chapter, but it says this is the inheritance of the servants of the Lord. Remember where it says, no weapon formed against you shall prosper. You remember this? Mm-hmm. Yeah. So this is the servants of the Lord. Let's break that down. Let's break this one down. We're on Giovanni, right?
Yeah. So you have the Ain, Bet, Dalet, and Yod. Mm-hmm. And then you have the short A below
short
the
A, Patach. Mm-hmm.
Shava.
Shva. Mm-hmm.
And then you have the long E.
The long E with Yod, right? This is Tsere Yod. Okay, so how would we read this?
Abide.
Okay, this bet here is got no dagesh. Remember, bet with dagesh is b, and bet without dagesh is v.
Avide.
Okay, and let's cut this one right there. Av, because this is a short vowel. Av, de. Avde. Yeah.
Avde.
What we said here is that this silent shba follows a short vowel, and that the beged kefet letter becomes hard. Right? Malkat. Malkat. There's a silent shba closing this syllable after a short vowel, and then the beged kefet letter is hard. In this form, we have a beged kefet letter. Beged kefet is bet, gimel, dalet, kaf, pei, and tav. Right? It's the letters that take dagesh to become hard. We have one here following what we identify as a silent shva because it's after a short vowel, av, right? This is av. But this beged kefet letter does not have dagesh, means it's soft. Avde. This shva here is playing double duty. It's both closing this syllable and it's opening the next syllable. This shva we call medial. It's a medial shva. We see that it follows a short vowel, so it's a closed syllable, but we see that the beged kefet after it is soft, so it also starts the next syllable. It's in between two syllables, and it's called medial shva. This will come up later on too. It's mostly just in this noun form and in a couple of verb forms, but we'll go into that when we hit it in the future.
So one thing that could confused me in the reading when they talked about the Skinnem-Levy rule.
Yes.
Is that kind of related to that?
It's a little bit different. Skinnem-Levy, S stands for all of the sibilants. Remember, the sibilants are Samech, Sadi, Sin, and Shin. All of these are sibilants. They start with an S sound, so all of these are S. They go here. K is for Kuf. Skinnem-Levy. So we ignore the vowels. They're just there for filling in the what do you call this? Like scuba.
Mnemonic.
Yeah, it's a mnemonic device. So the sibilants, Kuf, Nun, Mem, Lamed, Vav. Again, we're ignoring the vowel, and Yod. So sibilants, Kuf, Nun, Mem, Lamed, Vav, and Yod. We put them all together and we say Skinnem-Levy. And what that happens is, like, let's look at an example. Yedaber. Yedaber means he will speak. Okay, Yedaber, he will speak. Yedaber. When you put Vav in front of it to make like a narrative past, the pattern is it's Vav with Dagesh after it. Okay, so he will speak, Yomar, he will say, Yomar, he said, Vayomer. This case is Vayedaber, Vayedaber. Vayedaber means and he said. It's a narrative past. It has Dagesh. When Skinnem-Levy, that's the letters we just said, the sibilants Kuf, Nun, Mem, Lamed, Vav, and Yod, when they are followed by Dagesh, or by Shva, when they are followed by Shva, they tend to drop the Dagesh. It disappears. So instead of Vayedaber, exactly like that, we see in the text, inexplicably, it just happens. When we give this rule of Skinnem-Levy, it's not a rule saying it has to be this way. It's trying to explain how things appear in the Bible. So Vayedaber is not going to have the Dagesh there. And we don't know why, but these letters tend to drop Dagesh whenever they have Shuvah. So Skinnem-Levy is like explaining a phenomenon. It's not really stating a rule. It's telling you what happens. Okay? So, well, what's an example?
So that's mainly important, just to be able to recognize that may happen so we don't get surprised.
Yes. Let's look at this example. Yevaker. Yevaker means he will visit. Okay, Yevaker. When you add the they ending on the past u, Yevakru, they will visit. This Dagesh in the middle, because it's suddenly this turns into Shva, and this Dagesh disappears. So it's Yevakru, Yevakru. And the Skinnem-Levy, the Dagesh disappears. It's really going to come into play later on. It's not something that you have to, like, you need to be aware of it, that sometimes when there's Shva, the Dagesh disappears, but it's not something you need to, like, be aware of the situations at this point.
Okay, so I'm going to have to leave. I explained in an email why,
yeah,
but
no
I'll
problem.
be, I'll watch the rest of this once it's up on YouTube.
All right. Thanks for participating. We'll see you later. We're going to go on for about another 20 minutes, if that's cool. What I want to do then, I think that we've done well as far as covering things, and I hope that people who watch it on YouTube are able to follow as well as you guys have done. I got a comment from somebody from last week's lesson that we covered a lot of material that he wouldn't have covered in a beginning lesson, like the first lesson. And he said that I was lucky that I had people who understand the issues. So I hope that people who watch on YouTube are able to catch it like you guys are doing. Let's go to exercise 2 in the workbook. It's on page 9, and we'll just go over some of what we did in the workbook so we can basically cover the vowels as a review as we go on. I can actually pull this up on my computer too. I've got this, let's see. Yeah, that one. No. I think we're able to share screen. I'll try this. Sorry. Okay, can you see my screen?
Just a black screen.
Yeah, it's blank right now.
All right, let's try this again then.
This is doing exercise 2?
Yeah, from the workbook. Okay, you see it now?
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yes.
All right, so this is exercise 2 from the workbook. Vowel identification. My mouse is kind of locking up. It says not responding. Come on, respond. I'm gonna wait for this for a second. And it doesn't want to respond. So let's kill Adobe. And we'll try again. Technical issues, huh?
You know, I found the textbook and the workbook on Logos.
Yeah, I've got the workbook on Logos and also a print version. That's where I got this PDF from.
It's actually cheaper than if you buy them hardback. So.
Yeah. Well, it's not going to open, so we're going to give up on that, and we'll just use it individually. You have your workbook, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right, so let's just get into that. So first of all, you should know about the workbook that there is an answer key in the back. So if you get to a point and you're like, wow, I don't understand, don't know what it is, go back to the back and you've got the answers. In this case, exercise 2 is found on page 298. It has all of the answers, or 297. All right, so the first word in the list is Dalet Bet Yud Resh. The first syllable has a vocal shva because it's at the beginning of the word, and the second vowel is chirik, and it's long. Notice it's a chirik yod. With the yod, it's long. So the word is devir. Devir. On the right side, they want you to put that it has dagesh lene, the weak dagesh, because it's beged kefet letter. Are we good with that? That makes sense?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, great. If we're not using the whiteboard, I'm going to go ahead and pull up my camera and feel like a human being here. All right. Second word, let's go with Giovanni. They gave you the answers, so we'll just go over it and look at what they're wanting us to do.
Yeah, so you have their mem, aleph, kaf, lamed, and then have the patach, reduced a.
Well, it's just short. It's just short. Reduced is the chataf patach. It's the composite shuvah, which is the next one.
So you have the long a.
How would you read this word?
Mekal.
Remember the a vowels always sound like ah.
Mokal.
All right, so let's look. The aleph also separates vowels. So ma, a, chal. Ma'achal.
Ma'achal.
Does that make sense? Ma'achal with a cha. Ma'achal.
Ma'achal.
You see how each letter fits in that? Ma'achal.
Ma'achal. Yep.
Okay. All right. They give us in the next one that the first vowel is short O. They give it to us because, we don't know at this point how to break syllables, and so they have to give it to us. So, Ward, could you go through the next one?
So, is it called Kutz? Oops, I just lost it. Doggone it.
You can call it Kamatz. It's Kamatz Katan is what we call it. Kamatz Katan. It's a small Kamatz.
Kamatz Katan, Shiva, Pata, and Hirik.
Patach, and Chirik.
Patach and Hirik.
And it's on Mem, Taf, Nun, Yod, Mem Sofit. How would you read this word? Do you have any guess?
Motnaim.
Motnaim. Yes, Motnaim is your waist, the lower portion of your belly. Motnaim. Motnaim. Okay.
So that that whole last complex with the noon and the yod and the Irek and it's all like one sound, naim.
Yeah, it's ayim. It's a dual ending. Like I is ayin, and two eyes are enaim. So motnaim, the singular is moten. Motnaim. It just means waist.
So the yod there is functioning as a. Can't touch the screen, doggone it. The yod there is actually functioning as a consonant there. Is that right?
Yes. It is, but it sounds almost diphthongal. So also the word water. If you're drinking water, it's mayim, but it sounds like mime.
Okay.
So this is 3 syllables. Mot, na, yim. Motnaim. Okay. The fourth one. I'll take it, and then we'll move to the next one because we got a lot of these. So the first one was the vocal shva. It's The taf has dagesh lene. It has a weak dagesh from beged kefet. T. The next is bet, and it's soft. It's vu. Tvu. This is shuruk. The vowel is shuruk. Tvu. Aleph has the kamatz with hey. Kamatz hey. Tvu. Okay. Tvu. All right. Next page, number 10. Giovanni.
We have the Aleph, Kaf, Lamed. It's accented, and then there's what's that? Long O.
Yep, long O.
It's accented. Yeah. And then you have the E.
The short E, which is right? So just look at the first syllable with the long O. What's it on, and how would you read that? O. It's on an aleph, so it's O. And the second syllable, yes. Ochel. Ochel is a very common word. It means food. It's very common in modern usage. I don't think it's so common in the Bible.
Did you say food?
Food. Ochel. Well, also the word that you had before, ma'achal, it's also food. That's like a dish, a prepared food. Ma'achal. Ochel is food. Notice it's accented on the next to last syllable. Ochel. Ochel. All right, number 6, Mr. Ward.
I think I'm out because I'm looking at this on my iPad. It says click thumbnail to download exercise.
Yeah, you have to click on the page, like click on one of the words, and it opens a PDF, or it opens a big image.
Except it goes back to, and then I get exactly the same thing.
I had problems with it too. When I opened Logos on my computer and not on my tablet, then I didn't have a problem with it.
Yeah, I'll have to download this to my.
I'm going to try to open the screen share again, see if I can just throw it up there for you. I don't know if I can. It's not really letting me. I think I have problems with Adobe. I'm going to kill it and just open it in a different program.
Yeah, mine just goes in a loop. I can't do anything. It brings me back to the same place exactly.
I'm going to try to open it with Microsoft Edge, see if that'll work. Yeah, that works. Okay, let me share the screen with you. Facebook. Show entire screen. Don't have a choice. Okay, can you see now?
No, I can see it. Yep.
All right, let's make this full screen. No. Yeah. Okay, I'm not used to using this program. All right, I should be able to write on this too. Let's see. Okay, how does it look?
Small, but maybe readable.
All right, so let's make it a little bigger.
Yeah, that's good.
All right.
6.
Yep. Let's see if I can write on this. No, I can't. Okay, that's right.
So that starts with a Dageshlene, is it right?
Yes. Dageshlene is this one.
And a Holam Vav,
Mm-hmm.
and a Sere, and another Holam Vav.
Okay, so the first syllable is this one. How would you read that one syllable, this one? I don't know if you can see my mouse.
I can. To. Tole.
Oh, well, that's ugly.
Tole do.
Yep. Okay, undo that. How do I undo? Erase. Okay. I'm going to try to make this pen a little bit more reasonable. So, to, le, dot. Toledot. Toledot means generations. Toledot. Toledot. Okay, we saw this word before. This is a printing mistake. We need to mark that in our book, in our forum, that this ayin has segol. It doesn't have sele. It's a printing mistake. We'll mark that right now. So this, what's the next word, Mr. Giovanni?
So you have the ayin, that, and resh. It's accented, and then you have the long e, or short e rather.
It's supposed to be short e. They wrote long e. It's supposed to be short.
So, ever.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was reading this as dalet. This is correct. It's supposed to be long. Sorry. This is evel. Evel. Because we're at the beginning of this book, so I didn't think they would introduce evel. Evel is like beyond, like over. Evel. Great. Good. I'm glad you called that out. So this is not a printing mistake. It's fine. Next. This is tet with kubutz, which is two. This is u. In this case, it's short because it's closed. Tum. The shva here is silent. Tum. Ah. Tum. Tum'a. Tum'a means impurity. Tum'a. Tum'a. So this is a syllable here. Tum'a. Tum'a. Impurity.
It looks like they have it broken into 3 syllables. I'm just curious why they did
Well, what they're doing, they're trying to get you to identify this vowel here,
Okay.
this vowel here, and this vowel here. It's not syllabification. They're not breaking the word. They're just trying to get you to identify the vowels.
Okay.
So it's tum'a. So like this one, this is also two syllables. So this syllable actually has 2 vowels, so they want you to put this vowel here and this vowel here and that vowel there.
Gotcha.
Mm-hmm. So in this case, we're back to you, Ward.
So the patah under the aleph, resh with a shiva, and the sade with a kamets, and a hey. And I
what do you think of this?
What do you think of this?
What do you think of this shiva? Is it silent or vocal?
Silent.
Silent, because it's after a short vowel, right?
Short vowel, yeah.
The dot in the hey is called mapik. Mapik. Mapik means that this is not a vowel letter. It's a real H. Okay, it's not the kamatsei. It's this is al-sa. It means her land. The a means her. It doesn't have a big difference for pronunciation value, but just know that it's there. Al-sa. Al-sa, her land, her country.
It's arza.
Al-sa, with TS. That's a TS sound. The word for land is eretz. Eretz is land. Al-sa is her land. Okay. Giovanni, 1 vowel.
So you have the resh and then vav with the gesh.
So the vav is, this here is called shuruk. This one is called shuruk. It's the u sound, long u.
Yeah. So and then you have the final side. So you have roots.
Roots means run. Run, but you just can't hide. Roots. Okay. We're just going to finish this one, I think, and then we'll call it a day because we're at an hour and a half. Okay, so go ahead with that, Mr. Ward, if you would.
So kaf with a shiva, lamak with a chirek, chirek, and mem with a kamats and hey.
And the dagesh is dagesh forte. It's because this is not beged kefet. It's after a short vowel. It's doubled. Kelima. Okay. Often when you have a vocal shiva and it's followed by another consonant, you can make a consonant cluster. So you can, instead of kelima, you can say klima. Klima. Like KL. It's technically a vocal shiva, but we're still going to say it as a cluster. Klima.
Klima. Okay.
All right, I think we've gone far enough. Make sure to finish out the workbook on your own. Let's see. Don't change anything. Good. So we are now at 2 minutes to the end. We've got 2 minutes for questions, if you have any questions. I have to stay on a strict schedule because I've got people like in the house that also need this space. So that's why we start on time and we end on time. Do you have any questions that we can cover before we're out?
Nothing really in particular. I think I'll just have to review when you review our session today when you uploaded it in YouTube.
Okay. I was thinking to go ahead and take the reading sections, because in the next chapter we're going to start prepping for memorization and for reading. You have a daily reading assignment starting in chapter 4. That you have to read every day, because they're important verses that you just need to memorize. It's going to be part of the final exam, just so you know. Yes, we have a final exam. I was thinking about putting it together as PDF and doing a screen record where I go through it and read it slowly and point out oddities. And I think I'm going to do that. It will help with pronunciation. It will help with reading. And I think it might answer questions along the way that just might pop up on their own.
You posted the slow and the normal reading.
Yes.
Of that already?
Yes. It's on the Moodle. You can definitely look at that. I put that on archive.com. We are at 3:30 in the morning, so I kind of need to call it quits. It's been a pleasure, and I hope it wasn't all a big mesh of things, but there's a lot of information to cover, and I think we're going to make great progress, and you guys are going to do wonderful. So I'm going to go work on putting that together for you, and we'll talk to you later.
Thank you.
Yep.
All right, bye guys.
Later out.
Later out.